Hello. The frog has no real meaning, except that if there are a lot of people whose face looks like mine and you want to get back to this video and watch something in it again, the frog is a good place mark to remember where it is. Sorry about the peeping in the background. I hatched out a bunch of chicks there in a tub over here in the same room. So there'll be a little distraction during the video. First of all, I would like to say that you are bringing 50 people for your Blacksmith summit. 50 spots, 50 different seats. I would like to apply for the 51st spot or as kitchen help. I mean, hey, you can always use another person to bus tables or clean things up or perhaps help prep food. I don't want to get in the way of some much younger than me person who needs some inspiration to go there, but I would like to be a fly on the wall. Now my personality is I like to take problem situations and fix them. I'll give you an example of a problem situation that I fixed for Sovereign Man in Chile, Santiago, Chile. In the seminar that we had there, the very first day, after we left, we had our lunch there and then we took off, we left after that. I was the last person out of the room amongst all of us. And I noticed that all of the staff there in the hotel looked confused. They looked like they weren't sure what they were supposed to do, kind of wandering around talking to each other, and nobody was doing anything. They weren't prepping for dinner. And I realized that if they didn't start cleaning things up soon, that we would be very late for the dinner. So I started picking a few things up, grabbed a few people, eventually had the whole staff there, the dining staff, organizing the tables, cleaning things up, prepping everything. And about 20 minutes before we were supposed to arrive, some manager, I assume, ran in pulling on his jacket. His hair was all unkempt. He was sweaty. He was late and worried that he was late. And he looked around. He couldn't believe that everything was mostly done. And he talked to the people, and everyone pointed at me. They assumed that I was one of the staff and I was in charge of making sure things were done. The first day we had the Santiago, Chile seminar. When we had our dinner, it was on time because I made sure that it was on time. If there's a problem situation, I see one, I'd like to step in and fix a situation. So, hey, I can make up the tables for dinner in Santiago, Chile. That would be a great kitchen staff there in Lithuania. Something else that happened in Chile as well, you can perhaps ask our favorite banker in Georgia, Tina, if she recalls how she registered and signed up a lot of people for their bank accounts there in Chile. I was sitting at the same table as Tina, 10 feet away maybe, listening to her explanation on how to fill out the bank forms. She had a huge line of people behind, or standing there in line to get their bank forms done, well over 100 people. And she was swamped with work. Well, I sat off to the side. I listened to her explanation, talking to other people. I filled out all of my forms. And an elderly lady in her 80s, she had come with her daughter. She came up and she asked me, "Sonny, can you help me fill out my form?" It's like, "Come on over, ma'am, I'll help you fill out yours." So I explained how everything worked and helped her fill out her form. As I was explaining, Tina stopped a few times. She looked over at me and she kind of smiled because I was basically mimicking everything she was telling the other people. So after I finished most of the material that I could do personally with the lady, Tina stopped her line, took that lady over next in the front of her line and helped her finish her account. Some people, when they saw this, they shifted over and started asking me how to fill out their form. So I helped them fill out their forms. And as soon as I finished with them, again, Tina stopped the line, pulled the people that were waiting and whom I had helped over into her line and did them first. And when that happened the second time, the entire line shifted over, waiting for me. So I went through the first part of the form, and when I did as much as I could, I sent them over to Tina, and we went through 2 to 3 times faster. So I sat there with Tina for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and she was very happy, invited me to come to Georgia, and the bank would show me some select properties if I wanted to buy something, because they were very appreciative of me going out of my way to help them. Anyway, you might want to ask Tina, say, did you have somebody, your like assistant while you were there in Santiago, Chile? But that's what I like to do. I like to take a problem situation and I like to fix it. Actually, this video is a remake. I made one last night, but it went over 2 hours, and I know that's too long. I didn't want to overwhelm you with 2 hours of video. I'll just mention a few different points, a few different stories, some of the things about myself, and then I'll end it there. I am in Japan right now. I'm living in Japan, about half of the time. I move around a few other locations. I did attend your Santiago, Chile seminar. I had joined Sovereign Man Confidential shortly before that. And I wanted to go to Acapulco, but I wasn't able to physically at the time. Couple, 2-3 years ago, my secretary found a cat in a parking lot, just a newly born kitten. She took the kitten home with her, and she took care of it for about 3 weeks, but it didn't make it. The little cat died. And so I was going with her in her tiny little Peugeot to a kitty cat funeral. And it was a rainy day that day, and some truck driver, I guess his foot slipped off the brake, stepped on the gas, and plowed right into the car. So for a couple of years, I haven't been able to walk, but I'm fine now. I can walk around. I've been walking now for a few months, and that's what prevented me from coming to the Acapulco thing. I wasn't able to attend in Mexico. But hey, I'm great for Lithuania in case I can show my face up, and peeling potatoes is fine with me. I worked at my grandfather's nightclub and restaurant when I was 10 years old. I served beer at first, but then they came in and said a 10-year-old cannot serve beer to customers, so they shifted me over to the steak cook. Anyway, some of the other stories, I'll mention a couple of other things, just so you can see what type of person I am, the things that I do, the things that I like to do. After the Marines, I joined the Marines after high school. After the Marines, I went on to school. Well, it was very hard to find any type of a job then, and they didn't have a lot of veteran employment type of programs. I worked on helicopters, 2 years in aviation electronics, working on helicopters,